everyone. This is Lynn Serrano with Live, Love, Laugh, and Let Go Out Loud. And today is a super special day. I am going to be super honored to have the one and only Rene over here. Let me do a little intro and then we'll be right back. Hey, usually I have Rene right here and he's wondering what the heck's going on. But before I do that, I want somebody to help me to introduce him. So I've got a little message for Rene and it's a little surprise to him too. So hold on.
Hello, Rene. Pitter Pat here from the clubhouse. Oh my gosh, I'm super excited that you are being interviewed by Lynn. She is amazing. And I cannot wait to see the show. I'm super excited. But Rene was one of the first gentlemen that I met on one of the small rooms in Clubhouse, which is those are the best rooms, obviously. And I'm super excited to have him as my friend, as my Clubhouse friend. And just his story is amazing, just of where he was and where he is now. Oh my gosh, super amazing. I'm so honored to be his friend, and I just can't wait. So, hey Rene, bye. Have a good day. Y'all have a great show. I know you will. Bye.
Welcome, Rene, the one and only most inspiring man I know, and I have the honor to call him my friend in such a short time, and I love him dearly, and I'm super, super excited that he is here. Everybody's going to want to share this out. This is such an incredible, inspiring story that's just unbelievable. So good morning, Tracy, and good morning, Robert. I am super excited that you guys are all here. Rene, let's just go really quick with just a quick intro and just a couple of my standard questions, because I can't wait till we go to the Let Go Out Loud section where people are going to hear your story. So go ahead, Rene. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn, for having me on the show. And thank you for everybody who is watching and everybody who will be watching later. It's an honor and I'm excited. A lot of transformation has been happening in my life, and I can't wait to share with the world. I know I was doing it, but now it's going to be 10x to another level.
Oh, I'm so super excited. You're one humble guy, and I'm just so grateful that you're here. And let's just go some questions, because we're going to get into the Let Go Out Loud, where his story is going to unfold. And I'm telling you, you're going to want to share this, because by the time we get there, this is a story you've never heard. I guarantee you never heard this. It's amazing. So let's start with just what's the meaning does living your best life have for you personally right now, Rene?
Living my best life is exactly what is happening now. The meaning for me is being in the moment, being now, because we don't live our best lives if we are stuck either in the past or worrying about the future. And usually we worry about the future in the wrong way, about what's going to go wrong when the future is not even here. So the best life is now, is this moment. I've seen people manifesting, professing, and calling the things that are not as though they were, as the Bible verse says. And it's just like, now is the time. Just watch your language in the moment. So that's what it means to me, to have an internal dialogue, a language that continues to empower me now. I know something may happen in the future, but I don't have any control of the future. I don't have any control of the past. I only have control of the now, this present moment. Literally, as I'm looking into the camera, as I'm speaking with you, this is the only thing that I have control over right now. So that's what that means to me, really.
I can't. This is so awesome. I just love it. What do you love in your life other than your family?
What I love in my life is actually learning. I mean, this is like, I remember when I was a kid in Haiti, my first teacher was a homeless guy. And yeah, I get emotional as I'm saying it. He was homeless. He was on the street. Nobody paid attention to him, but I I started a conversation with him. I discovered this is the man I wanted to learn from. And when I had little food, I didn't have much, I would share it with him all the time. I'd go get him and then sit down and talk. So that was the defining moment for me to know that I want to learn and I want to continue to learn. I want to grow. That's, to me, I absolutely love learning from you, Lynn, and all the people that I'm meeting in my life. And that's why I'm really working on listening now, because I think that's what we don't do often enough. We also into ourselves. All right. We are thinking about me, me, me. We wake up in the mirror, we see me in the mirror, but we don't really take the time to listen to another individual. That's what I say. We know about the people we live with. We know about our mother, our father, our sister, brother, and husband and wife, but we don't really know them. We know about them. So learning is the ability to listen. Even right now, as I'm speaking, I'm listening to my mother at a level I have never done before. It's almost like I'm meeting my mother for the first time. And so that's my love, listening, learning, and learning.
I love that. Hey, guess who came in the house? You might want to say hi to Peter.
Oh, Peter, hi. Thank you for the video. That was such a surprise. I did not expect that. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Okay, I was going to do one question, but I'm compelled to go after that story you just told us about that man that was homeless and that you spoke to and your mom. I figure it's a good time right now is what things have you let go out loud? And you're an epitome of someone that let go so much to have the life you have now. And I don't usually ask people to share this out, but sincerely, you're going to want to share this out, because when you hear his story and where he's come, we're going to spend some time and I'm just going to give him the floor. You'll want to buy this book, Kick Your Excuses Goodbye, because you've never heard anything like this before. So Rene, thank you for being vulnerable. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing the story that most people need at this time in our life. So you've got the floor, my friend.
Yeah, it's I tell people all the time, when you share your story, you're actually liberating others, you are freeing others from sharing their stories. Before I launch in to talk about my story, I remember in Haiti when I was growing up, the wealthy people, the affluent people living luxurious lives, they never shared their stories on television or anywhere that I could hear it so I could have hope. It was always I was in a dark tunnel and I couldn't see a light at the end of the tunnel. And so when I started sharing my story, somehow I gave a lot of people the permission. And in Haiti, and I go to speak in Haiti, and a lot of big names, they are sharing their stories. And I'm so happy, because that's what more people need. They need to hear that there's a saying in the South that says, if you see a turtle on the fence, chances are it did not get there by itself. So we had many helps and many people that we encounter in our lives. And one of them I'll talk about in a moment. And I dedicated my book to her. And she predicted this life that I'm living, and she never got to see it. But I started in a poor village in Haiti, in extreme poverty and diseases. And many people in the village gave up on me because I was so sick. They did not think that I was going to survive. And many used to call me names. I remember one name they called me was Suya. And the reason they called me Suya is because apparently there was a man who was disabled, completely disabled. And they figured if I ever survive, I might be just like him. My mom left me in the village when I was only 9 months old, not because she was a bad mother, but she had to go to Port-au-Prince, the city, to break the cycle of poverty, but she could not afford to go with me. And so I stayed behind, and several deadly diseases pounded me, and they really vowed to end my existence. So much so, sometimes I worried that maybe God has brought me to this planet and forgot about me. I remember during the days I would be on the floor fanning flies off my face. And I had a string and a bent hook. It was the ocean there, and I would go there. I didn't really have friends as a kid. I was like a loner. Many nights, what Joseph Campbell talks about, many dark nights of the soul. I would wake up in the middle of the night on the floor as a kid, and my tummy was so bloated with parasites, like literally parasites, sometimes crawling out of my throat. And I remember they used to make some concoction for me out of, they call it kerosene, some kind of gas, right? It might be the diesel here. And then I would drink it to kill those parasites inside of me. But there were many nights when I would wake up in the middle of the night, crawling on my hands and my knees, calling for my mama, because I didn't know my mother. I didn't know my father. Forget about my father. And so and I would just cry in the middle of the night on the floor, and until I would curl into a fetus position, I'd fall asleep. But I never really wanted to go out and wake up, because the people used to tease me so much when they called me Suya, and there was a word called Coco Bay in Creole that they would call me. I remember as a frail kid, I had 2 rocks on my hands all the time because I wanted to throw it at the people, but I didn't have the strength to do so. But that was their prediction for me. They gave up on me, most of them, but God did not give up on me, and somehow I had the strength to really carry on. Now, Lynn, there was only one truck by the name of Voici Fan that used to come to the village, and I remember. In fact, the first time I saw lights was the time I saw the headlights of that truck, and I sort of like got dizzy because the light for me was a full moon. That's why when people in the United States don't really appreciate a full moon, because when you have so much light, you can't really appreciate it. But it was a time when boys and girls would go out, and I'd play with my shadow, dance with my shadow, and so every Wednesday, that truck would come to the village, and I always hoped that my mom would be on that truck to come for me. And I remember there was a place called, there's a lady by the name of Mrs. Adrian. The truck would always stop there, and I would always go. And I was a little boy as tall as the tire. I'd always look inside and look for my mama and asking people if my mama is on this truck. But she was never in this truck. But eventually, my mom was able to afford, I believe, 50 cents or so that she couldn't afford to bring me to be in the city with her. And she sent it for me, and she sent somebody to get me. And I remember when somebody told me, yeah, this time we're going with you, we're going to Port-au-Prince. I just couldn't sleep. I was so excited, longing to meet my mother. I had a sister. I had a brother in Port-au-Prince. I did not know them until I arrived in Port-au-Prince. But when I was leaving the village that day with Voici Fan, and I remember as I was leaving the village, and I thought like misery was over for me. I thought like, I'm never going to be hungry again because I ate breadfruit. Do you know what a breadfruit is, Lynn, by any chance?
No.
Okay. Well, it's like a tough potato with a lot of starch in it. So look it up on Google. So breadfruit, right? And I ate it for breakfast. I ate it for lunch. I ate it for dinner. And because of so much starch, my little weak digestive system could not process it. So they stayed inside me. So that day when I was leaving, I remember seeing the women washing their clothes, and there's a little river, and they would sing songs about miseries, and they would be there washing their clothes. And I saw them, and I saw the little kids, and I knew somehow life was going to be better for me. It's going to be different. And maybe one day I'll come back to the village to help, because I know what it feels like. I know the pain when you've been there. So anyway, I arrived in Port-au-Prince. I brought a live chicken for my mom, yams and potatoes and stuff I carried. And at the bottom of the hill, Mama was living in a place in Haiti called Monelio. And I remember I was singing, I was calling Mama at the bottom of the hill because I knew this time she was going to hear my voice is different than when I was in the village. My sister and my brother, they waited on the curb for me because they knew I was coming. And then when they saw me as I was approaching, they rushed to me and they wrapped themselves around me. And that really felt so good. It was for the first time, and Mama was preparing something for me. And when she heard my voice, she came and she just opened her arms, and I just jumped into my mother's arm, and she hugged me. And it
Renee,
was the first time for me.
Tracy's asking, how old were you when you got to Port-au-Prince?
Yeah, I was probably, I want to say 7 years old
Wow.
when I arrived in Port-au-Prince. And but what I discovered in Port-au-Prince, life was really tough. I mean, the journey to misery really began for me in Port-au-Prince. And so Mama was living in a little sort of like a dungeon. It was infested with rats and roaches. By the way, Lynn, when I share my story, there were a lot of Haitians that they are not happy. And I'm not sure if I'm sharing their story because it's a little taboo. You don't really share, like even my mom, my sister, my brother, they're like, why are you sharing all this, right? My mom would like, why do you have to tell people all our business? So one day I came from a speaking engagement. I was speaking for AT&T, and part of the reason why I gave me the permission to share my story is I see people like Abraham Lincoln. When I first came to this country, I read his bio. He had a similar life. Life was tough for him, and a lot of the people, they share their story. It's almost like it's a bridge for other people. And so when I came home, AT&T, they sent me the check, and I opened the check, and I went next to my mom, and I opened the check. I said, "Mom, look at this." Mama was like, "Whoa." She said, "Why don't you tell more stories, son?"
But I don't know how old you are, and you don't need to say that out loud if you don't want. But
No, I'm 59. No, I'm going to be 59.
Okay, so you're only 4 years older than me, but we're from that generation. We were to be seen, not heard. We weren't told to, shut your mouth, don't tell things from. So yeah, I love that, and so I can't wait till you continue your story on how you came from there to here. But and then I have questions for you as far as, why would a company hire you for motivational speaking? So that will come later. So
okay, sure.
Yeah.
So in Port-au-Prince, like I said, my mom, that little shack infested with rats and roaches. And I tell you this, I remember going to a place called Champ de Mars, and where the American tourists would come. We had a lot of tourism in Haiti back then. And I would walk behind them with an extended hand, begging for whatever they could afford. And I remember one American couple gave me a dime, and they really touched me compassionately. As a result of that, I realized that there's a country where people care. Not that we don't have people in Haiti who care, because I have to tell you, I found a lot of people along the way. And the lady I referred to earlier was a lady by the name of Tati Da. If you open the first book of my page, it's dedicated to her, because it was a time when she lived in the neighborhood. She was just as poor as we were. And I went to her that day. I was really hungry. Mama had nothing to cook for us. And I was crying, and I was telling her how life is unfair. I mean, I'm hungry. Christmas, there's never enough. I never had any toys, really. I would see other kids with toys, but I didn't have any. Why life is so unfair? And I remember when she held my hands compassionately, and she really stared at me and looked at me straight in the eye. And she told me, don't ever say that. Don't ever give up on yourself. She said, one day you're going to grow up and you're going to make a name for yourself. You're going to have plenty of food. Life is going to be different for you. I may not be there to see it, but it's going to happen to you. And then she said that to me one summer, because she would come every summer to Port-au-Prince to stay with her daughter. And that was the last summer I saw her, because the next summer on her way, she was in a car accident and she died. But she did predict. So her spirit is always with me. So we have a lot of good people with good hearts in Haiti, just like in the United States, just like everywhere. But that was a dream for me. You know what was the dream? I said to myself, I want to come to the United States of America to eat lots of rice and chickens, because rice and chickens were luxury for me in Haiti. We couldn't afford to eat it every day. And then so now here I am in America. I just want lobster. You know, I'm past like rice and chickens today. But that was the dream for me.
So, so do you mind elaborating too? And you have somebody that just acknowledged you. Diana Morrow says, "Greetings, Rene is a phenomenal coach."
Yeah, awesome, Diana. Good
So,
friend. Very
so
good
do you
friend.
want to elaborate how and why you came to the United States?
Well, I came to United States really to eat your rice and chicken.
That would be a Puerto Rican home because we eat rice and chicken, Puerto Rican house. So yeah.
Yeah, it was for a better life, for a better life. Whatever it took. To me, America was the promised land. I always knew if I ever make it to the United States somehow, life would be different for me. And so, yeah, there was, because it's in the search of a better life, in Haiti, and in the United States. Yeah, that's why I came. But because I'm such a learner, I started learning. I started reading books and learning and learning. And I might have told you the story, and I'm skipping a little bit, but when I was a doorman, first I started doing, any type of job. I was in Miami at first.
So do you want to explain how you got here, or do you
Yeah,
mind sharing that?
I can do that, but I'm not sure if there's anybody from the immigration watching
Oh,
us.
yeah.
I
Okay.
might
Yeah.
be in
Yeah.
trouble.
No, you have no. Okay. Okay.
No.
We won't share that. But anyways, so you came and you did a few different jobs. How about explaining how the whole motivational speaking thing happened? How about that
Yeah,
story?
yeah, sure. By the way, just for the records, I'm a proud U.S. citizen in the United States. So the city of Smyrna, where I live, they declared a day as the Rene Godefroy Day here in Georgia. And it's because of my contribution to this country. I've spoken at a lot of high schools. I've inspired a lot of people. I've spoken in jail and in all kind of places. So I said that to say I came to this country not to really detract from it, but to add to it. It's part of the deal. So yeah,
I love it.
um,
I love it.
I had to get that straight. But no, I was actually, well, first in Miami, because I didn't speak any English at all.
Rene, somebody's asking, how old were you when you came to America?
21 years old.
Okay. Thank you.
Right. And so in Miami, I would write 3 words on my hand every day. I would review my words, and I tried to get a job that nobody would give me a job. I remember I went to McDonald's to look for a job and to pick up trash in the parking lot, basically. The guy didn't give me the job because he said I didn't speak English. And that was really puzzling to me. And I couldn't figure out why I needed to learn how to speak English, since the trash cans don't speak any English or don't speak anything, right? and I was mad, but it is said to just get better, not bitter. And so I started my own business in Miami. I went and bought me some used towels and a bottle of dishwashing soap and a bucket. And I went to a place in Miami, South Miami, and I went to a bank called Total Bank. And I started knocking on doors. I started asking people to wash their cars. There were many rejections, but I was already trained and prepared for rejection, because when I was walking behind the tourists, and some would say no, but I would not stop. And eventually somebody allowed me to watch. There was a guy, I watched his car, and it turned out that he was the son of one of the top executives in the bank. And then I did such a fabulous job. And he went and told everybody. And now I started washing cars in the parking lot for $5, $7. And, that was a lot of money for me back then. But all along, I felt unworthy. I felt like, who gets to go inside the bank? Because it was so hot outside. I would go in there to get some air, some AC, but I didn't want to go in because I was so afraid. And I looked at the top floor of the bank and I wonder, okay, who is at the top floor? And I said to myself, one day I'm going to go to the top floor of the bank. So when I was speaking, I had already made my appearance on 60 Minutes, and I was all over. And the lady who was the chairwoman of the bank heard me on a radio station. I was doing an interview, and I was sharing that story about the bank, about the top floor. And she called and she invited me to come have breakfast at the bank. And then she told me it's going to be on the top floor. And I went to have breakfast with all the senior level managers and executives at the bank. And the bank, there was a manager who was the maintenance manager. He fired me because I was using too much water at the bank. Right? So when I got there, Lynn, the first person I was looking for, right? It was that guy. but he wasn't there anymore.
How you doing? Oh, man.
I know.
Oh my gosh, I think that's really funny.
So the message here, Lynn, is I don't know what is the top floor for you. What is the vision? You must have a vision, not so much a goal, but a vision of a top floor. I don't know. It may be your business. It may be the next level. It may be you are in a bad situation. You want to get out of it. I don't know what it is for you, but I'm here to tell you, I'm a testimony that if you have your vision and you stay focused on your vision, you will eventually get to your top floor.
I like that. I love that. And you remind me of the fact that I went ahead to your Facebook page and I found some little videos here. Let's see, hold on. And let's talk about these things here. I love these things that you have inspirational. I love that.
Yes, thank you for playing that. That means a lot to me.
And what inspired you to write that?
It's the metaphors we use in our lives, and we don't realize. People say, I reached the end of my rope, when in reality, there's no rope. It's a metaphor that somehow they gave us, and then it becomes real to us, and we see life, we see everything like we have a rope. But there's no rope. It's an illusion of the mind. And it's the same for a lot of the things we say to ourselves on a consistent basis. It's not just rope. We use a lot of metaphors to describe our situation. Like we say, it's a load on my back, when in reality, there is no load. But as long as the subconscious hears that there's a load, it will make sure that the load is there. And we say so many things, we're not aware that we are literally causing ourselves to be stuck and to remain in the same position. We are programmed. I think it was Zig Ziglar who said we are designed for success, but engineered for failure. And so all those metaphors and the things we say, and in coaching, I can have a conversation with a person. Within the first sentence or paragraph, I have to really break it down and show that person, this is why you are stuck, because you are using those words in your mind, in your inner conversation to yourself. And then, when we first go to school, the first thing they teach us is how to spell. So spell means putting a spell. We use words to put a spell on somebody. We use words to put a spell on ourselves because, I'm telling you, somebody can say just a few words to you and they literally destroy you, or they literally cause you to go days or even months in a funk down in the basement just because of the words they say to you. That means those words are like putting a spell on you. And so we do it to ourselves every single day, the words we are saying to ourselves. And those words create a vibration and energy that is so low, and we find ourselves vibrating at that vibration. And we begin to attract people who are at that level of vibration. But soon as we raise the vibration, we change those metaphors in our head, automatically the vibration is up. Then we begin to attract different kinds of people in our lives.
Do you mind if I play another video that I'd love? Okay, awesome.
Have you ever been stuck and you don't know what to do? It's like being stuck inside a bottle or a problem. You cannot read the label. It takes somebody from the outside of the label to read it for you. But if someone is constantly judging you, criticizing you, making you wrong, that person is not a good fit to read your label. Because highly influential people do not listen to judge, to condemn, or to make somebody wrong. They listen to understand.
Gosh, Rene, I love you so much. You really have
Absolutely.
made a difference in the world. And so those are some of the things you're talking about that really keep people in that low vibration and keep them down, doesn't it?
Yes. And the bottle metaphor is, I use it for coaching a lot, is when you are inside the bottle, you cannot read the label. And some of us are really trying on our own. We are stuck, and you need a mentor, you need a coach, you need somebody you trust, but somebody you trust. Because as I said before, people will plant ideas, seeds of failure in your head, and they'll cause you to give up, right? As I said before, if you surround yourself by people who tend to discourage you, who tend to put you down, who tend to purposely make you feel bad about yourself, it's just not a good thing, because that will affect you one way or another. Some people say, well, I'm a strong person, people cannot influence me. That's nonsense. It doesn't, as long as you have your five senses, you can hear, see, touch, and smell. Anything can trigger a certain mood, a certain feeling for you. So you need somebody who's not going to judge you, somebody who's not going to criticize you, because I talk about the listening aspect of it. And so when we listen to people, oftentimes we listen, if we think somebody is a liar, all we do, we listen for the liar all the time. Our relationship is with the liar. If we know somebody is a certain way, whatever flaw is in that person, our relationship is with the flaw in that person, which means we are constantly judging that person, criticizing that person internally. But if you can put that flaw on the side, that liar on the side, and then truly give that person the gift of listening, you will discover behind the flaw, there is an amazing, incredible human being waiting to be heard. And that's all it takes. It's the greatest gift that you can give to somebody.
It's cool that you say that, because I have another show that comes on after this. It's Real Raw with me and Brian Kelm. And we were talking about relationships and all this. And I choose to pick one great thing out of a person and always just focus on that. Even when I have a problem with somebody, I focus on the good that they're doing and I let everything else go, and people say, but what about that person? No, that's okay. I don't need to focus on their flaws. I'll just focus on what's good in them and give the ripple love to them. And just, you give the love and the kindness, you're going to tear down those walls and see that person behind it. So I believe that true wholeheartedly. And I want to just go through some of these quick comments, because I love to acknowledge my audience all the time. And we got, oh, wow, I'm guilty of that as far as with words. Yes, words have powerful meaning. Rene, I completely agree. And masterful. Oh, that's powerful. Love that. Tracy asks, how did you get into speaking part of your life? Somebody else says, you're fine and find the good. That's right. We find the good. So if you wanted to answer that, that's great. As far as
Yeah,
how
the
you got into the
speaking.
speaking. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was a doorman in Atlanta. And when I was parking cars and I would see books in the back seat of the cars that I was parking, and I would begin to buy those books. I was reading those books because I figured if those people are so successful, they're reading this kind of book, they must know something I don't know. By the way, that's when I started noticing how they dress, what kind of suit and tie. And, I'm from a small village. I don't want to reinvent success. I want to model success. But I've read one of the books that talk about speaking for a living. And I said to myself, what the heck? I tried everything in America, right? I was a dishwasher. I watched cars on the streets. I did everything. Why not try speaking for a living? But I had the little voice, the little voice in your head,
The
talking me
whispers,
out
yep.
of, yeah. You didn't go to college here. You didn't go to high school. Your English is not very good. You're struggling. Nobody's going to put you on a stage. Then, and then one morning I woke up and there's a guy on television. I noticed, wait a minute now, this guy, every morning he wakes up and he is motivating Americans. And I was thinking to myself, wait a minute now, if Jerry Springer can motivate Americans, I can do this too.
I love that. So we're gonna pick up the pace and make some fun.
So have you ever gotten yourself in a pickle? What kind of pickle would you say you got yourself into? That you learned the most valuable lesson ever.
Did I try and have pickles with you?
No, you mean your life story? I don't know. We went as far as you went, but
yeah. Let me finish. So because the lady asked me how do I start this story really quick.
Yes.
So and then I did say I was going to be a motivational speaker, and I noticed a way that there were speakers coming to the hotel for the conventions, the conferences. So I would make sure that they scheduled me every single day. And when I would see the speaker, I would introduce myself. I'd say, "Hi, sir. This is your doorman. I'm from Haiti. I'm going to be a motivational speaker in the United States, and I'll see you on a stage." And I'd say that to every single of them. I would introduce myself. That's how I met Jeffrey Gitomer, who we became good friends, and he wrote the foreword for my book. I saved all my tips money, went to my first conference for the National Speakers Association, and I went to those same speakers, and I would introduce myself. I say, "Hi, this is your doorman from Atlanta, sir. Remember, I told you I was going to be a motivational speaker, and here I am." And now they noticed that I was serious, right? They were like, "Oh, okay, this doorman is for real." And so that's how I started my career. But something happened after the opening speaker, the first session. Everybody they were rushing out of the room, and I was going inside the room. And I went to the stage, and I stood there, and I had this vision that this is me. I just finished a keynote, and they saw me, and they were excited. They were living. And then I had that vision at the National Speakers Association. And in less than 2 years, I was a keynote speaker, at the National Speakers Association. So it's all about vision. It's about seeing it. It's about holding tenaciously to it. Don't let the crabs in the barrel pull you down and drag you down, because they don't really, it's not their fault, right? They mean well, because they've never done it, and they assume because they've never done it, you cannot do it. So please do not listen to them. Listen to our own self, your voice. Don't wait for permission from anybody else. Don't wait for anybody to anoint you. You are already anointed. It's you. It's in you. Listen to your own self. That's the message I'd like to share with you.
I love you. And Tracy says, for not knowing English to a motivational speaker, you're incredible, Rene. I told you he was incredible. Hi, Kellen. And here we got, isn't it awesome how most successful people are always willing to give back to others and love sharing knowledge? Absolutely. Absolutely. So that is so awesome. Yeah. I'm going to go to some other questions I have here for you because I think people would love to know this. So what have you been up to lately? What have you been? I meant to say, have you? I did that so quick. I'm going to fix that. What have you been up to lately?
Lately, Clubhouse, right, Lynn?
That's
My goodness. My goodness,
Clubhouse.
this is the latest thing for me. I'm actually been very busy, and I'm just like, 2020 for most people was probably the worst year. For me, it was the absolute best year of my life. Not because I was speaking so much, because they canceled all the speaking engagements, and I was not traveling, I was not doing anything, so I had a lot of time. It's because I had enough time to really self-reflect, to go inside of me, to meditate a lot, and then to really discover that I cannot really control the things that are happening outside of me. The only thing that I can control are the things that are happening within me, inside of me. And I have a peace and some kind of joy that is called unspeakable joy and peace. And I'd wake up, do my morning routine, do my exercise, write my gratitude, what I'm grateful for the day, and the people I want to be in touch and connect with and stuff. And so it's just totally different for me. It's a transformation. It's a new mindset. And Lynn, if you understand, 80% of success is mindset. It's not the mechanics, it's not the tools and tricks and the funnels and all that we have, because there are people with all of those, but they are missing the 80%. So yeah, that's it for me.
So I'm going to ask you for people to be able to find you. By the way, just a little hint on the Clubhouse. They are working to get that on Android so that we're not being segregated by all the people that want to be on there. But where can you find you? It's just look up your name on Clubhouse, right?
Yeah, I'm everywhere. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Clubhouse, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter. I don't really do much on Twitter, but you'll find me everywhere, right? Omnipresence, right?
Yes. So let's talk a little bit. We have about 8 minutes, and I want to talk about this here. And then there's some fantastic comments that I'm going to bring up here in a minute. But let's talk about your book, Kick Your Excuse Goodbye. I think everyone
Yeah.
on here should get this book.
Okay.
You probably share a little bit about your life and how you came up to kicking excuses out, correct? In that book?
Yes. That's basically the entire story, including how I came to the United States. Why don't I just share it? I came to the United States. Don't do that.
You don't know, because they should buy your book.
Okay.
We don't have time for that. So
Okay.
you
All
really
right.
should buy that book, because I think you're going to have some like wow moments. I truly do. And some of these comments are amazing here.
Yeah,
I
go
want
ahead.
to
Let's read the comments.
Yes. I love this one here. Renee inspired me to become a national speaker, which I did after watching his video in 2015. Is that on YouTube?
Probably.
Renee?
Yeah, I've got about over 100 videos on
Okay.
YouTube. Yeah,
So
this guy is a powerful motivational speaker. Yeah, Ovi
nice.
Vasquez. Very nice. Good to see you, my
Nice.
friend.
That's nice. And then Diane says here, it's impossible to be coached. It's impossible to be coached by Rene and not have your life be incredibly changed. He has mastered his craft. He is an inspiration and wealth of knowledge to me and my husband. I love that.
Thank you,
And
Diana.
Peter says, don't ever let anyone steal your joy. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Christina, and I'm dyslexic, so I'm sorry if I'm not saying all this straight here. Success leaves clues. Follow the lead of the successful people you admire. You're such an inspiration and blessing to know. And so you are loved, Renee. And I can't thank these people enough, because when you come on my show, you need to be loved. And I thank you all for participating and having me have him know how much he is loved and respected by all of us. Yes, it's a must read. Wait, and then here, yeah, buy the book and send one to a friend as well. And then Robert, which is a personal friend of mine, totally blown away with today's show. Truly amazing, man. You have no idea. You got to get the book. I know the story, and I'm blessed to know the story. And he's honoring me, sending me a hard copy. So I'm speechless by that, Rene. So I'm probably going to buy a book for a friend is what I'm going to do, because I want to support you. And it's just in honor of our friendship that I'm going to do that. So, but I ain't giving my copy away that you give me. You know what? I've never had, well, I can't tell you. But anyways, but I am just super, super honored that you are here. And Rene has been my coach and mentor for 12 years. Everyone needs a coach and a mentor. And
Yeah.
And you're welcome, Shannon. I just hope everybody shares this out. He truly is a good friend of mine. I'm going to be honored to help him with some things that I know that can help his business. And I just truly, truly love this man. I'm just blessed that we, just by voice, this is the first time I saw him on video. So by voice alone, we connected, and we've had heart-to-hearts on the phone. And it just, I'm just super, super blessed that we met at the clubhouse, and we moderate some rooms together and stuff, and it's just a great time by everybody, and we'd love to have you there, wouldn't we?
And I love you, Lynn.
And I love you so much. So yes, he has an amazing story. So everybody, make sure that we put the link to your personal public motivational speaking page up there, because people need to follow there. I've told Rene he's got to tell everybody he's in the clubhouse, but we find out you get shadow banned if you talk about all that stuff. So again, share this so that people know where to find him, because we're not going to post on there. He's hanging out in the clubhouse. I found him, and I'm keeping him as a friend. And hey, let's finish our pickle story. Let's go back to the pickle story before we leave. Here.
So have you ever gotten yourself in a pickle? What kind of pickle would you say you got yourself into? That you learned the most valuable lesson ever.
Go ahead.
Most valuable. Which one do you want me to share?
I guess something that's not in the book that you figure is a pickle. Okay, like not knowing English. What kind of pickle did you get in a misunderstanding?
Not knowing English is, I remember I went to McDonald's. I was hungry and I couldn't read the menu. Back then, I don't remember they had pictures. And then I didn't speak English. I didn't know what to order. But I learned 2 words, same thing. And I started using those 2 words to the max. I'd go to I went that day to McDonald's, and I stood there, and the lady said, "May I take your order?" Somebody in front of me had ordered, and I said, "Same thing." And then as soon as I ordered same thing, I look around. When they took the lady's meal, she was with a family of like 5 people, right? So I literally had to walk away, and then I just left the place. I'm like, I don't want that same thing. It's too big.
That is a pickle. That's a really good one. Oh my goodness. I just hope you know how much I love you and appreciate your time. And I'm glad you came out of hiding. No, he wasn't in hiding, but your pages weren't, you were neglecting your Facebook family and not letting them know what you were up to. So I'm glad I got you out of hiding. I got you out of Clubhouse for a minute.
Thank you for that.
I got you out of the Clubhouse for a minute to get you over here, because so many people do admire you and treasure you. And I'm blessed to know you and love you.
Thank you.
And just have you on my show. So I'm going to, we're going to say goodbye now. Thank you so much for everybody that participated with us, and let us know what you think. And Rene, can we do a show sometime soon?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
All right, let me know.
We'll
Bye,
do a
everybody.
topic. Thank you, everybody. You stay right there, Rene. Have a good one, everybody. Thank you for being here.